Hi beautiful people, it's day 2 of the cassava swallow making process. After adding those nails to the cassavas on Saturday night, by Monday morning the cassavas had already started fermenting. In fact, they had fermented enough for us to begin to pack them out so that we can start washing them and prepare for the next stage of the cassava swallow making process. So I didn't get to tell you what we were making. It's not garri. And no, it's not akpu. This is a different kind of cassava swallow that is called pupuru in Yoruba, and the Urobos here in the south, they call it iyaga. It's not akpu, but it's made like akpu. There is almost no difference between making pupuru iyaga and making akpu. The best part is that pupuru has a longer shelf life than akpu. Once you cook akpu after washing akpu like this, you wash it like this to remove the chaff and to fish out those coconut-headed cassavas that refuse to ferment as well. So you wash it to get that smooth feel. This is the real reason why eba cannot be compared to akpu. When you make eba, one way or another, you will feel those seeds of the garri, inside the eba sometimes. But in akpu, these things are removed carefully. And here is one of the nails that we threw inside the cassava to get it to ferment. Yet we couldn't get it to ferment 100% if you look at that pot very well. But that did not hinder the work in any way. These nails were removed carefully as the work was going on. Then I observed that the water that was coming out of the akpu that was kept in one of the pots was producing raw starch. Starch was settling at the bottom of that water, pure starch. This one self, you can just make it and eat it. So after sieving the cassava, the part of the cassava that did not ferment and the chaff of the cassava, we decided to spread them under the sun and dry them so that we can now blend them with some head of fish that we have at home. That way, this will become feed for our birds that escaped death during Christmas and New Year. You see, at the end of the day, nothing is a waste in this process if you look at it very well. While we were busy drying the shaft and the coconut-headed cassavas that refused to ferment, the ones that we had washed, the fermented cassava that we had washed, were settling down inside the water where we washed them. So at the end of the day, we poured that water out. Then we began to pour the fermented akpu into sack bags so that they can drain some more water before we'll be ready to fry. Like I said, we're not making akpu. If we were making akpu, after doing this, we will now start boiling instead of frying. Akpu will not last long in the house, but pupuru or iyaga, which is the one we are trying to drain water from so that we can fry, now becomes dry like garri, and it has a longer shelf life than akpu. Pupuru is smooth when you make it just like akpu. In fact, it comes out like akpu, but more like a refined version of akpu when you make it. It's smooth like semovita or even like pounded yam. If you succeed to make it very well, as neatly as possible, and it comes out without smelling bad, because some people leave it longer than they should and then it begins to generate odor and all that. But if you can follow the process and do it right, within a few days, when you swallow this iyaga with correct egusi, ogbolo or okra soup with stockfish, goat meat, prawns and imekpe, before you will eat overfeeding, you will not know, because this thing will just be going glum, 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 as in as you dey swallow am, e dey go. We are back to the work that we were doing. So we are trying to press it with our hand. We are trying to press the water out through the holes in the sack bag. So once you put your hand on it, now you see it will start draining water. See me now, I'll put my own hand on it so that you can see. You see, it's draining water. It will be draining small until we take it to the jackie where they will use their manual engine to drain it completely. But before then, let me wash everything with this alum to kill the smell of the akpu. Have you seen a manual jack for drying cassava before? If your answer is no, then join me tomorrow. Let me show you how they do it.